here today and share with you the PEDA, Program for Infrastructure Development in Africa. What is PEDA? First of all, before to answer to the question, the PEDA is a continental program of infrastructure development in Africa adopted by the head of states and government of African Union last summit in January 2012 in Addis Ababa. The program concerns 4 sectors: transport, transboundary water, energy sector, telecommunication, and ICT. The program is a very huge ambition program for development of Africa in the perspective of 2040. And with a, let's say, macroeconomic base growth for 6.2 GDP per year. To be short, the program costs for the period, the first period, 2012-2030, around 68 billion. It means 7 billion per year in terms of investment. For the preparation of this project, which was a huge consensus on all 5 regions of Africa, we set up a kind of committee to facilitate the process of consensus building. Implementing of the priority action plan of these projects, as I say, will be the key core of our discussion today, because what is interesting for private sector, it's how to take the opportunity on this project and to see the niche, the windows of investment. First of all, in the first is energy. The program for energy is around 40% of all the total investment. Second, it is transport. Transport program will be around 30%, and the others, transboundary and ICT, will share the remain. For this program, of course, it needs a lot of investment, resource mobilization. And as you know, the private and the public cannot alone mobilize all these needs, 7 billion resources, billion per year. It will that we need the participation of the private sector. This is where we come to highlight the key, the key role of the private sector. First of all, in terms of mobilization of resources. The second, how to create with the private sector the environment to facilitate the investment in Africa. As you know, we have two main components: the soft and the infrastructure, the hard, if I can say, the hard component. The soft component is more for the public. It is how to harmonize in Africa all the legal procedure for investment, and of course, how to harmonize the process of resource mobilization in all the region. It's why for Africa, we should build a common strategy to facilitate movement of capital between all the countries and region, which is not the case today. The second component which I want to highlight before to give the floor to. It is the hard copy. The hard one, it is on transport, particularly. Now we have to build for the coming year more. For the coming year, we'll have to build railways, road corridor roads, and some key bridge. I will give an example of a bridge between Gambia and Senegal in West Africa, between the bridge of Kinshasa in Central Africa, between Congo. In energy, I want to give an example, for example, of the Grand Inga. The Inga site, as you know, this site will generate more than 50,000 megawatt. The project is one of the pipe projects in Africa. And in the railway, as I say, you will have in West Africa what we call the Abidjan, Ouagadougou, Niamey, Cotonou railway. It's around 3,000 kilometers to be built. I'm giving some key examples to show that the program is concrete and expecting to get from African public investor their contribution. Yes, first of all, you should be optimistic because, as you know, Africa becomes more and more the best place for investment. Why? Because more and more we have stability in terms of political in our countries. Even if this last year we have in the north and some countries this situation. Secondly, we set up what we call the PEDA, which is a framework to facilitate our dialogue between our countries and with our partners. This is important too. And third one, within the framework of this, as you say, one of the key issues which should be addressed, it is how far we will start to harmonize our regulatory framework. Because since we have various regulatory framework in various regions, it needs at a continental level to start to have a reference framework where business can be done with more stability. It is why, and now we are working strongly on this strategy at continental level and regional level to improve the environment of doing business in Africa. Why is not fast working? It's only because the implementation process should be done by the countries, and as you know, the countries still let's say covering or their sovereignty. Every country wants to still, and we do it after 50 years is not working. Each country wants, and we say now time comes to come together to federate our resources and to federate our capacity building in terms of building a network and to facilitate the cross countries. This is why what we are trying to set up. First of all, we should talk, but in the appropriate manner to get results. It is why talking good, but one of the key, I want to say, recommendation in our talk, it is how far we will set up a risk mitigation fund at the continental level to ensure that if business people are doing business on all regions and of the continent, they should be covered at high level, continental level, to be sure I'm doing business in South Africa or in DRC, how far I'm sure that if something happens, who will cover? Recommendation one, it is good to start to take the risk. We say African business don't take the risk. to do business in the other region, which is not very. Second, the issue of tunnel fund, which is another, let's say, another possibility, because we have various funds, the DBS, regional banks, but they couldn't talk. Why West African Region Bank couldn't work with Central African Bank or Eastern Bank? Why? They are businessmen. Business is business everywhere, but they can do business in Europe, in America, not in Africa. Why? Because, of course, the regulatory framework is not there. That put them and take the risk to put the regulatory framework.
Doing business in Africa, you can't afford to be without Africa Investor.